Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. Jungle. Welcome to the jungle. That's right. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got this in the way. Let's shove that over there. We are actually talking Dungeons and Dragons, which I know has been requested on the channel for a long time. So today I thought we'd take a look at the player side and some of the books that you could use to start your adventure. But as many channels have said, because it was in my feed for like crazy for a while there, thanks to the algorithm. Hey, awesome stuff. Not so much, but sorry about the algorithm. Anyway, this is Dungeons and Dragons. What the hell am I talking about? First of all, you don't need anything to play. Like all the videos said, the basic rules are free. Online, you can do D&D Beyond, or you can do basically any web search and find the free rules for yourself. So you don't need anything to play. First of all, you got the basic rules there, and on top of that, if you have a good DM and you are really just starting out, he should be able, or she should be able to provide you with all the information and character sheets and spells you need to start your adventure before you start getting hardcore into the hobby. So starting is free, but if you want to expand your game, then we got a few books here, and as the title of this video says, this is focused on the players for this video. We'll do some DM books another time. But first things first, we're going to start off with, of course, the Player's Handbook. And again, you can get this digital, physical, and you can see some Kleenexes in there for bookmarks. But this is the 2014 version, and a lot of the stuff, since we're playing 5th edition in both, well, it's now online, but with my co-workers, we were in person until I came back here. So I'm playing that online, and with my friends in San Diego, we're playing 5th edition as well. So this is the 2024 5th edition version. Now, they also have a 2014. So they have a 2024 version, which they have only very recently renamed to 5.5 edition. And it's all supposed to be compatible, but that version has streamlined a little and condensed some of the stuff in these books into that. Some of it's also easier for the player, and some of it's different. So personally, I think I want to stick with what works and what I've been using, which is why I'm sticking with the 5th edition. And I think I got this for 20 bucks used, if I recall correctly, but I don't know, because they were upgrading to 2024 at one of the best game stores in the area, which is still pretty far out. But the point is, the Player's Handbook has more. The basic rules has, of course, all 12 of the core classes, and at least one subclass option for you. But if you look at something like the Berserker, that only gives you one option. Not Berserker. Yeah, Berserker? Barbarian. Jesus. Yeah, I think it gives you the Berserker option, which is only one option. But it's got, I think, 4 versions in the Player's Handbook. Cleric has more options. I'm pretty sure Druid has more options. So there's just more options for subclasses here. And this is where you want to flesh your character out. So this, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, but any of these books are applicable to Dungeon Masters or Game Masters as well. So yeah, I'm just, again, this video is focusing on what the players could use to have a good adventure. But of course, Dungeon Master has these and more, which we'll talk about in the next video. Now I'm just repeating myself and rambling. But yeah, this goes through all of the classes, how to create a character. And this is where I learned that you can actually create random characters by rolling the dice, because I had just been using the app online and choosing what I wanted. And, you know, either way is fine. There's a section on playing the game. There's a rules of magic. And, yeah, it lists all the core spells as well. Part 3, yeah. So Oh, that's good. So lists them here by class, and there are some redundancies. Some are obtained at different levels for different classes, I believe, and of course some are just not available for all classes. So there you go, and then it goes into spell descriptions and stuff. But yeah, this is a really good book to have. And oh, was that bookmark for armor? I believe one of these bookmarks was armor, which is why it was there. But yeah. Ooh, look, a bird. Right. So yeah, Player's Handbook is probably the first thing you would want to get as a player if you're expanding on the free basic rules. And then, I mean, this could work for you if you're just starting out. You've got the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle starter set here. So it does come with one adventure. We're not going to go through this. It comes with dice. So if you don't have dice, you get everything except the percentile. It's got a small little booklet here, which has all the monsters and yeah, there's some maps and the story itself. So I believe it's for adventurers from levels 1 to 4. There's a rule book as well, and you got some blank character sheets, which are apparently dual-sided, or that one's just upside down. Nice. And well, like I said, we're not doing an entire unboxing here, but if, like I said, you want to step up and you don't have dice, but dice are cheap, you can get them at any store or on Amazon or whatever, and you want a preset adventure and you want to just get your feet wet, then this is a decent place to start as well, and not as tech savvy as the Player's Handbook. Although I hear the Green Dragon version of the starter set from, I don't know, at least 10 years ago, which I don't have, has the Lost Mines of Phandelver, and that's supposed to be the best starter adventure, or so I hear from the people who have much more experience than I do. So that's it, all you need, even though there's more stuff here. But if you want to go beyond that, if you want to play an artificer, you can either get the new Eberron book, Forge of the Artificer, which came out last year. I think it's really thin and really expensive for the size book it is, $30. You know, that's up to you if you really love artificers. We're also in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and why I would choose this again is because we're playing 5th edition, not 5.5. If you're playing 5.5, I would probably recommend Forge of the Artificer. And it's got the Eberron campaign setting, so there's that as well. But Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is what we use. I probably should have, I think I zoomed in for one of them. Maybe not dragons. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Sorry. So this adds, well, like we said, the Artificer class, and I think 4 subclasses for that. It adds a few more subclasses for each of the 12 core classes. There's new spells, there's new feats, which are very important, and for your players, don't look in the back of the book because it's got some puzzles there that might actually help your DMs out. So, yeah, I mean, this is, I think it has magic items as well, but Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is a good next pickup. If you if you watch a lot of YouTube videos on the subject, they'll say there's actually 5 core rule books, and that being, like we said, the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, which we'll talk about next time, obviously, the Monster Manual, probably in the next video as well, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and then Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which I actually don't have, but would be in this video if I had it. yeah, so they say those are the 5 core rule books, even though there's really only 3 core rule books. And if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, you only need the player's handbook. But this gives you more options, more classes, and yeah, it can be useful. Then the rest, well, the next 3 books we'll talk about are only specific to certain people. So if you're not interested, you definitely don't need to pick this up. The first one here is Volo's Guide to Monsters. Now, obviously, Guide to Monsters, you're gonna see that and automatically assume it's gonna be for Dungeon Masters. And that's true. I have much more use for this as Dungeon Master than I would as a player. But if you are looking into orcs, if you like orcs, it's got orc strongholds and different types of playable orcs if you want to go that route as a player. It's got beholder information, like beholder layers, and it also goes into detail about mind flayers. So I started playing Baldur's Gate 3 first, then I got this book, and then I became really disappointed in Baldur's Gate 3 because it was practically this book turned to real life. So yeah, I was disappointed that the game wasn't as original as I had thought it would be. Not saying that the game is bad or anything, that's just where I'm coming from. So yeah, for the playable races and the information there, it may or may not be useful for players. Of course, the monsters, the bestiary, is only going to be useful for your Dungeon Masters. So you probably don't need this as a player, but I'm throwing it out there just in case. By the same token, and because the store only had this version and not the whatchamacallit, it only had the limited edition cover here, or alt cover, I guess. So that's why this Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants, it looks the way it does. It doesn't match any of those, but that's okay. Now, as a player, this gives you a few subclass options. It gives you pretty much the entire reason I bought it, which was Path of the Giant for your barbarians. So when they go into rage, they can become a large creature, size up, and at later levels they can get even larger than that. I guess it's huge is the next step up. So yeah, that I found very interesting, and I used it for one of my characters, and that is why I got this book. So if you're a fan of giants and you want to create a character using that, then this is the book for you. If not, then the bestiary and the story, because it has some campaign elements as well, that's suited for Dungeon Masters, Game Masters. So again, it's not a strong recommend for players, but it's an option as we get noisy bikes going by. Okay, and there's one more book in the same vein. You have to be a hardcore Dracophile to get Fizban's Treasury of Dragons as a player. So there's the option of choosing Dragonborn as one of your players, and all of that can be found in the regular player's handbook. But and you've got your chromatic dragons and you got your metallic dragons. This adds gem dragons. So if you wanted to create a specific Dragonborn for a campaign or whatever need, then this is the book for you, with the third type of Dragonborns, the third type of dragons, and each of them has more detail as to specific options and benefits for being a Dragonborn. That's the only reason a player would need to get this. Otherwise, for Dungeon Masters, it's got dragon layers and dragon types, a good bestiary again. So there you go. Mostly for DMs, a little bit of players. And finally here, this is a step up, I believe. A vast step up from the other starter set. But if you are a Stranger Things fan and you get the Welcome to the Hellfire Club, then this gives you much more meat in a starter set. And I'm not going to open this up, but this is very heavy. It's got pre-made character sheets, so that's different. So there you're going to create your own characters. Let's do that. Here you're going to create your own characters. Here you're going to use pre-made characters. So depends on how you want to start your adventure as to whether you want to warm up with this or just learn along with your guy. So the starting point is different somewhat. It's got dice, so that's the same. It's got 4 modules as opposed to Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, I believe, is 1 module. So it's got 4 different adventures you can play here. It has maps, which are very beautiful and detailed, and I think at some point I'm going to use at least one of them. And yeah, it's got the Stranger Things sign. This also has monster tokens and spell cards and other stuff that you won't find in the starter set. But it's up to you whether you want to use them. Now, both of my groups have miniatures, so we have our own characters and we move those around on grids and have fun that way, and often use Theater of the Mind. But if you want more stuff, I would definitely go with this for your starter set, but this starter set would get the job done just fine. And as I said, this is the Stranger Things tie-in, so if you're a fan of the show and you want to get interested and get started on D&D that way, then there's that. And that reminds me, if you made it this far into the video, there's something I want to do. I'm calling you out, Joe Manganiello. Okay, not really. But I am giving you a standing invitation to our group in San Diego. Anytime we're playing, if you want to come down and join us, you're welcome to sit at the table and have fun with us. So Joe Manganiello, if for whatever reason you see this video, you're invited to the San Diego group. But, okay. So, like I said, Welcome to the Hellfire Club is a solid starter set. Probably the best one you can get. Dragons of Stormwreck Isle will get the job done. One more time. Fizbins, Big Bees, and wow, we're not even going to include Volo now. But only get these if you're a player has very specific wants. Tasha's Cauldron and Everything is a good secondary player's handbook. And like I said, the player's handbook and the basic rules 2014 if you're playing 5th edition, 2024 if you're playing 5.5. But this is the only one you would need to buy if you want a full version of all the core 12 players. But yeah, so those are what I think would be good for players on the player side of Dungeons and Dragons. Let me know in the comments if there's any other source books or adventures you think are good for people just starting out, and well, even DMs just starting out. Because like I said, all of these were on the player side, but they're useful for DMs too, especially our Volo's Guide to Monsters. But yeah, in the next Dungeons and Dragons video, we'll talk about the DM side, source books I have, and whether I recommend them or not. But thanks as always for watching, and until next time, keep rolling and keep dancing.